Hello, everyone. I just realized I need to actually open up YouTube while I'm still standing here. YouTube. That's. I don't even want to know where that would take me. Okay. Sign in. Why? That's not me. Well, it is. Okay. It is me, but it's not the account I want to use. Okay, there we go. So right now we are working on the wax canvas for the Dundurn tote. We're going to finish cutting them. We've got 3 more to cut, and then that's done. The obi are still drying right now. So this is a very, like, I hope I get this done thing, unfortunately, right now. But honestly, I've got the Kato mostly, like, ready to go. I do not have, so shockingly, the thing that I don't have as ready as I thought was the small box bags. I did not, for some reason, realize that they still need to be top stitched. And now that I think about it, I might still need to even top stitch the handles on them. So, oh right, and we need to post this to Instagram so people know that we're actually online. Anyway. So that's what's laid out right now is the wax canvas so that we can like cut the exteriors for the Dundurn totes. We've got 2 gray to cut, 1 raspberry, which is this like this. That's what I'm calling this because it's kind of pinky purple red instead of like true red. I do have a truer red over there, so yeah. That's not the one. That's the one. We want to copy the link. That's not Instagram. That's Instagram. All right. I'm currently also working on a beer. So we'll see how this goes tonight. I'm hoping that I can get, well, I want to get all these wax canvas done. I'm hoping with Dawson I can get an extra like 4 to 5 hours each night. So with the intention tonight that I should be on until about midnight. Fingers crossed, as long as I don't like, if I start messing up, like there's no point. I may as well go to bed. But that is the goal. Now, pat me on the back for I have actually run the last 2 days. I'm so excited. Actually, I am excited. I changed up my training program back to something that actually suits me a little bit better. Basically, it's called Jeffing. It's a system created specifically by Jeff Galloway. And it's basically just run walk intervals. But I am using his app because the glorious part about his app is that he actually gives you the interval paces that you're supposed to be at. I am running them faster than what he is calling for, but that's okay because I haven't really set up any information for him. saying like, hey, this is my normal pace and everything like that. He just made a good guess. I think because I gave him talking like it's him specifically, like I booked private lessons with him, which you can't because he's dead. So, that puts a little bit of a kink in those plans. But what he does have, or his estate now has, is an app. So we're using that because why not? Anyway, it gives the interval paces for the like in the app, which is really nice because most of the time I'm trying to figure that out myself. Not always going so hot for figuring that out. So that's been really good. I've only used it for 2 runs so far, but like I was on my other program for a couple years, which was it was okay, but like I've never been able to run the full amount or anything like that. And I'm just like, ugh, you know what? Let's stop fighting it. And we're just going to like do what we can do. And not finishing Osaka in February really kind of cratered my like desire to do a lot of this. So I'm like, let's go back to something I know I can achieve. I know I can run a half marathon. And like the big thing that has reduced my ability to run has been that I've been on a calorie deficit, like because I started Ozempic back in August. And it has been really good. It has gotten rid of the stubborn weight. And what I have noticed with the dose that I'm currently on is that we do have extremely good glycemic control. And that's what I'm on it for, mainly, is that. The weight loss is a nice side benefit. And I have had minor issues with like side effects and stuff like that. So far so good there. But what one big side effect that it has impacted is my running speed. So I was realizing today, I'm like, well, in the end of it all, I've already rebuilt once after kids, and now we're just on another rebuild. And I'm hoping that mental shift helps me kind of get over this a little bit of like, ugh, about running. Now, that is not to say I am going to take it a little bit easier than I have the last few years. I am going to be doing shorter distances. I am also going to be doing like, just shorter distances really is the big thing, because I'm just like, I need to be able to put the time somewhere else. I need to be able to put it in the kids, or I need to be able to put it in the business, preferably both. And training for a half and a full is just a lot of time commitment that I just do not have the ability to do right now. Which is fine. That's perfectly fine. Does that mean that I'll never run a marathon again? No, it does not. I've actually still got plans that I still want to go out and do Osaka Marathon eventually. And I still do want to go run Dopey again with Dallas because that was a lot of fun. It's just I need to take a year with where my training program is the least of my concerns for a bit. So I think that's a fair thing to be doing. Anyway, but I felt really strong on both of the runs, like yesterday and today. And the other awesome thing is I was actually faster, even including my warm-up walk, than I have been with the other program. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Locked in for a bit. I am totally fucked though, by the way, because it's like I'm supposed to be running Calgary half, and I'm just like, oh god. It's going to be a lot slower than I anticipated. I will not be gaining speed on this half marathon, which in and of itself is fine, blah, blah, blah. It's not fine. It is really hard to deal with the fact that I've slowed down again when I had been having consistent gains the last couple of years. That's the thing. So. This needs to go to here. that's... I'm just using an awl to like mark out my lines because it's wax canvas, so whatever. I guess I am working, I'm going to be making 2, so I may as well lay out the second portion of this as well, really. For cutting, I should have actually just done everything in 2s. Oh well. Yeah. Now we do have 3 of these ready. I think they've been trimmed down and everything like that. Honestly, at this point, I hope they have been, because that's a lot of work if they haven't been. Yeah, you are not straight. Fantastic. Shocking? No. Annoying? Yes. Okay, anyway, let's go in and we'll mark another set of those anyway, because may as well build out from where we were. Wait, no, that first line is right. No. Second line is correct. Okay. Okay, I need to actually measure from that line then. Good. And actually, because there is a slight waver in there, that's not actually correct anyway. Goddamn. I'm tired. There we go. Yeah, okay, that line is correct there and is not correct on the other side. I'm going to go with the taller line as the width line, because here's the thing, it's easier to trim it down than it is to add in. So we're just going to do that, and then we're going to do measuring from here. There's the halfway point. Yeah, everything is off with these. Oh my god. Okay. There. Okay. Inside lines, inside lines, inside lines are our marks. Inside lines, which means I'm gonna go in and trim this down before I get the little jingle. Inside lines, inside lines, inside lines are our friends right here. There. Now I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to do the same on this side though too, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Inside line of this cut as well. Cool. And then we need to do the bottom panel, which is taller and wider, but we can work with this for now. Okay, so it needs to be that. And then it's going to be to there. All right, and then we'll have to go in and trim down a back panel in the lining facings, and that's it for now. And I don't think the other, okay, so what are we putting the gray with? We're between the gray with peonies and with the gradient and iridescent floral. Okay, so the gradient iridescent floral does not require extra. The peonies do though, and I've already got it cut. So, okay, I'm gonna do the long cut here first. Was a little bit like, why are all my edges of my wax canvas so jagged? And now I remember why, or now I know why. Remember why? I don't know. Both. Okay. So now we need the back panels and the lining facings from the top portion. Actually, I wonder if the lining facings would fit here. And then actually, do we need extra raspberry as well? No, just the peonies and the brown needed extra. Okay, cool. Is this wide enough? It's not quite wide enough, so we're going to trim this down. Because we can't get, like, we can't really do much with this. We'll figure something out to do with, like, these leftovers later. Because why not? But later is definitely not right now. Create a nice straight edge for us to work from again. All right, swoop this down, and then we need a back panel and 2 lining fabrics, and then we're gonna be done with the gray. I was like, we're running low on gray. We're not running low on gray. We do not need to go out and buy more wax canvas before I use this wax canvas up. I promise. I might want to, but I do not need to. I don't know why the wax canvas escapes the boredom or the boring fabric stuff, but apparently it does. Boring fabrics are anything that are not Japanese fabric. I think that's a fair descriptor. It's all the like utilitarian stuff of like, you are canvas for Kato, yay, or you are whatever, right? Like just the stuff that you need, but it's not the fun stuff. But you still need it because hi, it makes everything run and work still. Okay. No, I don't want that right on the inch mark. What happened there? That didn't work. There. Okay. Then we're going to go and mark it here, which is where the other mark is. Perfect. So it is lined up with what we just cut. There's actually, let's straight line it this way because now we know this is a straight line. To there. Now all the obi and like exterior pieces for these have been Scotch guarded. I actually ran out of Scotch guard. I had to go get more Scotch guard today. So they are out in the garage drying. I will probably pull them into the house tonight and like scatter them about my fabric portion, simply because then it will dry faster. Basically it needs to dry overnight now, but they have had their second coat, so like we're as ready as we can be for the exteriors. They still need to be trimmed down into their various measurements. We are, after I cut this, going to check the how the we have some pre-cut that I didn't get finished before Japan, so I want to like see if they are good or if we need to still trim them down. Okay, last two lining pieces for the gray. These are for the facing at the top of the bag. And I do like the fact that I use the wax canvas in this case because it will allow me to like, I don't know, it's a heartier fabric, right? So. Done this before I trimmed it off of the roll. Oh well. Okay. All right, there's all the gray cuts. We're ready to go. Actually, no, we need two more gray cuts. Two more sets. We need a zipper tab, two zipper tabs, and a set of reinforcement tabs. Zipper tabs and a zipper tab and a set of reinforcement tabs. Okay. So. Can I get two out of here? Yeah, close enough. It's like an eighth of an inch. It's a zipper tab though, so I'm not too worried about it. We'll be fine. Everyone will survive. No one will lose any limbs. Zipper tab's not going to solve world peace anyway, or create world peace, so we're all good. All good. So I finished the Lost Bookshop this morning, and I really like the premise. The main male character was such a dweeb. I was just like, kind of just, I don't know. Premise was 5 stars. Dweeb in it was like, actually made me mark it as a 3-star novel. I'm just like, I could not stand him. He was so, I don't know, just off. I can see the appeal, I guess, maybe, but not for me. Anyway, it's cute. It's like I said, really good premise. I really enjoyed it. Had a good, like, well, now that I think of it, it shouldn't have been surprising, but the twist was definitely a good twist for me. I must not have been paying very much attention or something. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Hi, cat. I know you're on top of the canvas, eh? Yeah, is that comfy? Yeah, is it cradling your old bones? You're not even that old. He's like, well, yes, mother. Okay. This is the raspberry. Raspberry. Get on there. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is leftover other things. Okay, so, and we only need 1 raspberry. Yeah, because we just cut out the 2 gray that we needed. I'm like, where the fuck did my garbage can go? It was right here. I literally just tucked it around the corner for myself. Lovely. Okay, we're going to do a square up on this one as well, just so that like all this is nice and even. And then we'll go in and we will cut the Dundurn for the next one. And then maybe not perfectly straight edge, but it's definitely better. Okay, then this is the sort of place that we cut the like other things out of those other things. Slip pocket reinforcements. That's one of the things, and the other thing is zipper tab. So these ones, so we made some back in September. Back in September, we did snaps. Unlike the snaps, we're going to do wow, my brain is gone tonight. It's like, should I be streaming? Yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, no, that's not quite large enough. Anyway, we're going to be doing zippers for these guys instead of the snaps. That's what we're doing. That's what I was trying to get to. Okay. All right, we are going to measure out 1 inch and 3. Okay, so these are the slip pocket reinforcements, because we rivet through the slip pocket on the interior of the bag, and these will create a stabilizer essentially for the rivets so that they don't tear through the fabric quite as easily, if at all. Okay. Oh, and then I need to do, yeah, I can do individual markings afterwards, it's fine. Okay, 1 piece for the zipper tab. Reinforcements. Now I do have a bunch of Kato actually already clipped together, so once we get these trimmed and I take a look at those obi, that's what we're going to work on, is getting the Kato together. And I think we might also go in and do actually I think first things first, we'll go in and we'll do the top stitching for the small box bags because they're all dark top stitching. Blah, blah, blah. You're like, Katie, we don't care. It's like, yeah, no. All good. This is my creative chaos, not yours. Okay. So, first things first, let's measure up for the height of this. And with the wax canvas, I do always cut off the selvage because it's got little pinpricks in it. It must be like, assuming it's the same thing with like the canvas and quilt cottons and everything. Excuse me, that it must be like the... basically the stretcher marks or whatever, like to hold it taut. Well, it's one of the parts of processing. Okay. That should measure to here. Good. Lining facings. The same height as the backing, because it has to be or same width as the back, because it has to be the back. True up to that. Good. Like that. True up. Good. Just like that. Are these actually the right height? I hope so. Nope, they need to go up a little bit. Okay. Fine. I would prefer to find that out now versus later. Okay, I'll just shimmy here and finish our lines here. Okay, actually no, a little bit more. There we go, that looks better. Then how about you? Are you actually tall? No, you both were shorted a bit. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, it did like waver up a bit right here. That's fine. Again, better to figure this out now. I 100% cut a piece earlier today where I was missing a whole damn inch. And I'm like, oh, that's an expensive mistake to make. Now we can use that piece for other things, but it's still super annoying. Okay. I don't have the other two memorized. Side panels, bottom panel. Okay, we're going to do the bottom panel next. Based on the shortest point of this. This fabric. Yawning is not boding well for getting my stuff done. Okay. All right. And then the last one are the side panels. Excuse me. Okay. did I already? Okay, I already did the raspberry trim downs for like all the zipper tabs and everything. Good. Good there then. Good. Okay. That's what I thought. Good. All right. Doom. Doom. Good. Good. All right. Oh, that's such a good sound. All right. Now we'll cut the height down. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, now roll this back up, and then we'll pull the other fabric, the OE down that we have from the previous round of Dundurn. Becoming Amelia crossbody bags. Ignoring you. Your straps, you do need to kind of hang out because we might do minis. You're not related. You are a traveler sling. That's unrelated. Okay, here we go. No, these do not look like they're trimmed down, or at least not all the way. Okay, so here is, okay, all the wax canvas is trimmed down. So let's see what we need to do for interiors. Actually, it might be trimmed down. We'll just double check. Because honestly, sitting down being like, hell yeah, we can just sew these. And then like figuring out that we're not trimmed down would be highly disappointing. Okay. A traveler sling. This has been why it got pulled is we needed to cut the back piece again and it needed to be Scotch guarded. Does it smell like Scotch guard? A little bit. All right, good to know. slip pockets for it. And then there is a piece of, oh, where did it go? There was a piece of obi floating around for the interior of that. I think it's under the cat, so we'll worry about that in a little bit. Okay, these are, look like lining panels. Whee! Okay, all the interior slip pockets. Are they the correct size? Yes. Okay, cool. And they're all stacked together, so I can just check them once and everything's like at least decently close to what it's supposed to be, right? So the blue pocket is a little bit long. Okay, so maybe we do, but not like, so that's not anything super egregious, but let's trim it down anyway. Again, me as well, since we're here. Yeah, it is actually, it's about an inch too long, which sounds like it wouldn't impact much, but it's an interior pocket, and so if it's not the correct length, it could end up getting caught in the bottom seams. There we go. Okay. Okay, so here's the main lining panels. I don't actually know what these match up with, but okay, we'll figure it out here. I think we're good. They all look the correct width at least. Yep. Correct height. They're all the correct height. Okay. And that looks like it's all of them too, I think. Okay. I don't know why these are clipped separate, but it might be just because it's all wide or like a big stack. And then these will be main lining panels as well. Okay. How many of these did we have cut? I also don't remember that. Oh my god. A lot, apparently. More than I thought. Okay, actually, the interior slip pockets is the best place to count. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so not as many as I thought. So, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then those will be the 2. Okay, these might not be 3. We might need one more slip pocket for 4 things. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so all the pieces are here, as far as I can tell, except for it looks like probably zipper tabs, which I know I cut, but I'm not shocked that we've misplaced them. So that's easy enough to replace. It looks like we'll need one more lining piece for the slip pocket. Now the last question becomes, where are the actual obi pieces, which are right here. Excellent. Okay, this is another traveler sling to be. Again, got scotch guarded last round. Maybe it's a traveler sling, maybe. Okay, so that's gonna be upper lower zip pocket. That is the thing. Upper lower zip pocket. This one needed TLC. That one needs no, that's the zip pocket. That's the slip pocket. That's the zip pocket. That's the slip pocket. Okay, these two did not need extra. They do, however, all need lining. Okay, so, and the slip pockets are not as tall as the main lining pieces. So let's get them trimmed down to the correct height then. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we've got that. We got them, good. And we've got one, oh, we've actually got 3, 4 pieces. Okay, cool. So now I just got to figure out which pieces are going where. All right, this is going to pair up with this one, easy. Okay, and we'll trim. It's actually not that far off, but we will just trim it up so that it's clean. Then we've got this guy here, which is obviously paired up there. Excellent. And then the blue is going to be sewn with its stuff. Paired up here. Good. Okay. And then it looks like the last navy, that makes sense, is right here. Excellent. Okay, good. Now, just remembering what colors go with what as well. Okay, I have a feeling, yeah, the dark chocolate brown was with this guy. The raspberry was with this. The teal was with the, and the gray was with the sakura. Okay, cool. All right, so there's the 4 that we already have ready to go. Excellent. Okay, so now I'm not overly concerned here. Now, I did not get any more of, I was prepping a bunch more Kato, but I didn't get them actually interfaced. So now I'm like, see, I think, if we end up actually going through with them or not. But, okay. So these ones are fully ready to go. A couple of the pockets are a little bit like, meow, but that's not a big deal. I'm actually wondering if I should run upstairs and snag the... No, I only Scotch guarded them like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So we'll do that. That'll be my last task before bed, is to grab them and put them on the table here, or in the fabric studio, because then the cats can't get on them. And I'm not worried about the cats actually messing it up. I'm worried about them getting sick from the Scotch guard. So we don't want to do that. All right, we will need to go in and trim up all of the obi that's going to become linings for the current ones that are in progress, but I feel like that is a tomorrow Katie problem. I think right now the problem that Katie should be focusing on is getting some of the stuff sewn, because I may as well be finishing the Kato that are already ready. Yeah, this was the stack. Maybe if we run out of other things to do, we'll do those. Because we do actually have a very generous stack of stuff to finish. Actually, it looks like either of these works. Sweet. So I don't really want to put the pattern in here. Right? Am I crazy? I feel like that's crazy. I feel like it still needed to be mirrored. Or was that the mirrored piece was the one here? I don't remember anymore. Anyway, there's enough obi here to trim up one more if we need to. Yeah, I feel like the piece that we have here was the point. I can't remember though. It doesn't really matter at this point. What I am doing is I'm just trying to get everything kind of mentally sorted, because we do have a full bin of small box bags here that could potentially be useful to finish. What I'm wondering and why I'm digging in is, okay, it looks like we top stitched the handles already, so it's the bags that need to be top stitched. Looks like just the bags. Yeah, majority just the bags. Okay, so the bags need to be top stitched and finished. Okay, I've still got the black thread in the machine, and these are all dark top stitching bags. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to do all the top stitching on the small box bags. Like, I've got 2 more full sewing days, but I also have the 2 nights that Dallas is home now. I'm playing hooky on Friday, and I can take my rivet press with me. Although we're literally driving to Dawson Creek and setting up that night, so am I actually going to feel like doing rivets? I don't know. But leather work on bags is going to take way longer than I anticipate, so we're just going to go with that. Okay. 2 sewing days, and we do have a whole stack of Kato to finish. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to move the camera. We're moving the cameras. Or at least, yeah, I'm going to pretend I'm moving the camera here for a minute. Okay, these will all need, though, light stitching to smash them together, and then dark top stitching to, like, do the rest. Oh, we need to do, that's part of it. We need to do the dark stitching on the base of the Kato that are actually partially finished. The other ones that I selected out are ones that could do gold D-ring tabs, but they haven't even been interfaced yet. do not even have interior sewn. So yeah, let's focus. We'll focus in on the ones that are here. And I'm like, there are a bunch here that have their interior sewn, and like we could just do stuff. Okay, I'm gonna just move you to intermission here, so that you don't have to deal with the jostling of the camera here. I think I might need to cut a bunch more. Things and sundries. Those things and sundries. What are those things and sundries? Are they the fun things and sundries? Not really. What am I going for? The no, I don't even know anymore. Whatever. Apparently I shouldn't be streaming tonight. Work has been fine. Working has been fine. Streaming, maybe not so much. It's all good. All good. Okay. There we go. All right. Swing you around here. Shrink the camera back, or else you're not going to see anything of note. And then shimmy the camera down a bit, down a bit, down a bit. And technically the face cam also needs moved over, which apparently we've got a giant smudge on the face camera. Yay! Exactly what you want to be looking through. Okay, that is not going to get finished right now. This is the stack of mostly finished or potential Kato. That's always how it goes, right? All right, and then you guys are back over here. Okay, let's see what my live scene looks like. Good, that actually looks exactly like what we want it to look like. Okay, if you're like, why aren't we working on Dundurn totes? I cut all the wax canvas for the exteriors of the Dundurn totes, and now we are back at the sewing machine because we got a whole stack of Kato that are just like waiting for various things to finish up. So this needs leather. This guy, I didn't like the drawstrings, but then I found the OG fabric drawstrings, so we can actually, I'm going to clip it because it's already got its leather on it. These are interiors, so they don't matter right now. And then these are drawstrings for stuff that hasn't been finished yet either. But we do have more black D-rings now, so I'm really leaning towards actually getting some more of this pile finished. The next pile that I had selected stuff out of, I realized, well, I didn't even interface their tops. So I'm like, okay, I think we're gonna call it on them, and they'll be what we finish before Otafest for sure. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Or like at least between Peace and Otafest we'll work on them. This is a one that we're just gonna finish now, hopefully. Okay, where's my webbing box? Where's my webbing box? Let's actually finish this right now because all it needs is it needs me to shove a D-ring in the side there and we'll have a traveler sling. It is one of the wax canvas slash Japanese cotton bags. Okay, that needs to be clipped together. We're leaving the dark thread in right now because I want to go in and top stitch the, what are we top stitching? The stuff. Such and sundry. The canvas on the bottom of the ones that we just prepped to finish. And there is actually a whole stack of them here that we can do that with. Not just the ones that are actually on the table. Oh, but we gotta finish sorting that. Never mind. Okay, let's stitch this in and then we'll deal with that stuff. Okay. There we go. So basically what I do is I stitch it and then I do what I call a blend in stitch. so that it's not just like randomly hanging out there. That is ready to turn. We are not turning right now. We're just getting a few things like squared away. Okay, fuck. Where should I put this sort of thing though? I guess right here works. Okay, that's a random drawstring for later. We're not worried about that right now. This is a stack of minis. Are we gonna get minis done? I doubt it. There is one mini we should get done. It's like chilling down here waiting. I'm gonna put it on the potential pile, or at least the pile of yes, basically. That does not mean it's gonna get done. Okay, drawstrings apparently need to be done for these darker stitched ones. So let's do that while we're here. And then we'll go in and we'll do all the top stitching for the canvas for these bags. Okay. Off we go. And then we're going to come in and do Dundurn cut downs and actual Dundurn work tomorrow when I'm fresh. I'm not fresh right now. I'm also like a year and a half in, which does not help. So yeah, coming to working on a new-ish pattern. That we also, well, actually, the bigger thing is that I haven't worked on it since September. So, you know, it'll be good to like not, or to come at it with a fresher brain than what is apparently happening right now, because God. Okay, I want to trim that selvage off because that's a little bit too thick to take up in seam allowance, mostly because it would not match on both sides. And then the drawstrings would be at 2 different levels. La 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 la. Look at me behaving like a good sewist. Praise me. Okay. Now I think I also did all of the, like we've already done all the polypro for these guys too, which is a huge benefit versus the new cuts that I was going to finish. Keep all these ends tucked under so that they actually get stitched down. Sometimes that's a losing battle, you know. All right, we definitely have some really, so these are a lot of new fabrics from our last trip to Japan in February. And when I say our, I don't mean the royal we hour. It was actually a family trip with the kiddos and Dallas and everyone. So that was good. And I think this is one of the fastest turnarounds to actually getting fabrics into the sewing space, to be honest. So that was good. I wasn't anticipating actually working with these until about June. But jet lag and getting sick and a bunch of other things meant that we kind of slowed down on the production side and ramped up on the prep side. Actually, because yeah, I did end up prepping a lot of like the dress shirts and stuff for future mini travelers things as well, and belt bags, which we do have a massive stack of fabrics that I chose out for belt bags, which is fun. And yeah, okay, one more to do the drawstring stitching on, and then we'll go in and do the bases here. Still dithering about whether I should do the small box bags. I have technically enough small box bags. I definitely don't have enough Kato. So There's the drawstrings. And then I fold the seam allowance down towards the canvas, and then we stitch the top stitch on the canvas. Just creates a nice kind of, I find that it frames the fabric better. It's wild how much it changes it to actually do the seam allowance up, and like how it just changes the directionality of the, like the iris portion, I guess might be the best description. I don't quite know what to say there, but yeah. Oh man. I was like, I'm gonna sew till midnight. I don't know if that's gonna happen now. We'll try. That was the goal, was midnight. And when, like, we've been on for about an hour? Yeah, so. I was like 4, well, I guess, okay, so 4 hours would be 11:30, so. We'll also see, because I have been noticing that I've been catching a second wind around 10, I think, is when I've been catching the second wind. So that would be good as well. Anyway. Working through getting the Kato ready for Peace Fibre Festival. I adore this Fuji print. So good. It's on a dobby, so it's got like a slubby warp and weft, and so the texture just adds a really nice I was like gonna say uniquity. That's not it. It makes the fabric much more unique, and the texture also adds a heft to the fabric that it wouldn't have because it's actually quite thin and light as well. So I find that it adds quite a bit to it. All right, after we get the top stitching done, we will go in and we will wedge all of the bags. All of these do already have their interior sewn. That's why I'm not freaking out about it and sewing the ones that can just be smashed together. Those will come next. So, but yeah, getting these exteriors done is good. The stack that I was hemming and hawing about because we didn't have enough black D-rings. Now we got enough black D-rings, although I just realized that we need to make sure that we set enough aside for the not the Kato, but the Dundurn, because that was a terrible top stitch, like actually bad. Like, whoa, it went really far down. Okay. Let's take that. Oh, my seam rippers are over there for some reason. Well, who knows? I have like 6 of my favorite seam rippers that actually work. And I only know where about 3 of them are right now. And it's like, where could, well, actually, never mind. It's like, where could they have disappeared to? But I just realized that a lot of them may have actually fallen down behind the, like the cutting table. That actually wouldn't be that surprising. before this haunts me too much, I'm going to, I think all of those. No, actually, okay, so we don't want to take all of the black D-rings because the Dundurns are definitely going to need some. How many here do I have that would need black D-rings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 16 for the Kato alone. Okay, there's enough here. Okay, cool. So we could finish all of these and still have enough for the Dundurn. Okay. So I'm like, wait, some of those might actually need, or we'll take gold hardware because it's going to be dependent on the, going to be more dependent on like the obi than it is on necessarily the wax canvas. So at least 2 of those, maybe even 3 of them will take gold. And then the like, and then I don't know how many from what we have prepped out in the garage, actually. But oh shit, I was supposed to go for rivets today. Okay, I might have to send Dawson up for that too. He's gonna have to be up in that area anyway, so. I wonder if Tandy does order pickup. I feel like they might. And I could just order it and he could pick it up for me. If they do that, that's even easier because then I can take a look at my stock here. Although at the same time, sometimes that doesn't work because it'll take like days for it to get picked. Okay, that is actually a pressing question that I need to look at right now. Where is my phone? And what do I need? Okay, I know. I'm pretty sure that I need like longer gunmetal. Okay, I got bright gold. We probably could use another pack of bronze. And I definitely need long gunmetal. Okay. Yeah, because I've got long gold. I think I've got like 2 other sets of long gold that will work for what we're doing right now. Okay. So I need long gunmetal and long bronze here. I think actually the first sets were from Emmeline, but Tandy's are just as good. Excuse me. They're accessible, which is the main thing right now. Okay, let me see. Sorry, it's like, I'm sure this is riveting. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I think Tandy's are actually a better price. Shockingly. Tandy is usually really expensive. Okay, yep, Tandy is cheaper. Okay. Ooh, there's a matte black. Or glossy black, those are new. Okay, gunmetal matte. No, yeah, okay. Medium. Okay, now I'm gonna have to get Dallas to go pick them up. They do not have a pick up in store thing. The one thing that does annoy me is they do the rainbow plate ones, but they're now like silver on the back, and I don't understand why the like rainbow plate costs so much more. So I'm going to, like, for the ones that I'm normally using, it's like $8 for 100 pack, right? Which adds up if you're using them, but then it's like $73 for 100 pack of the iridescent ones, and only one side of it is iridescent. Actually, I wonder how that compares. Yeah. Okay, so that is one place where Emmeline definitely beats Tandy, is their iridescent double cap. Okay, that's good to know. Because they're come in packs of 20 at $10 a piece. So if you bought 5 packs for 100 to match Tandy's numbers, it would only be $50 compared to like, but still compared to 13. Interesting. Also interesting that it is cheaper for, yeah, at Tandy. Okay. I'm going to put these in for Dallas. Fixed. Now, why we actually stopped is because I need to swap the bobbin. And that means I also need to swap the bobbin thread here so that we can wind the next black bobbin. Question always being, where do the bobbin threads go? Right here. Am I playing with fire to leave that bobbin on the desk? Probably too much. So into the drawer it goes before it causes me heartache. All right. to the top stitching of the Kato. We're almost done top stitching the canvas on the ones that didn't get finished last week. I feel like, Katie, you're working on other prints. I know, and I've actually swayed myself back to just finishing these because we did get, why these got paused is because I actually ran out of black D-rings, and I did end up obtaining some black D-rings so we can get these done. I really do want to be working on the Dundurn totes. We did get the wax canvas for them cut. However, I'm tired. So we're going to work on things where it's a lot of muscle memory for the brain and not too much strenuous, like having to match stuff up. So we'll work on those tomorrow. So if you're here for those, I am sorry. We did work on them earlier. If you want to scroll back to earlier in the live stream, we worked on cutting the wax canvas and everything like that on stream. And double check that the ones that are currently ready to go are actually currently ready to go. The ones that I just trimmed or cut down the other day are currently out in the garage being like having been scotch guarded. So that'll be my last task tonight, is I will go upstairs and snag them, and I'm going to move them into the fabric room so that they can finish airing out in there. I was going to set them on the cutting table, but then I realized I'm like, they're not completely dry yet. I don't want to I want the cat stain on them and stuff like that. So but then that also gives my garage a chance to air out. I think Dallas might need to run in it tomorrow morning. Actually, that's a good point. Maybe I should go snag them now. Okay, we'll finish top stitching these, and then I'll go grab the obi out of the garage and bring it downstairs. Just so it has a chance to like air out completely. I also think tomorrow's supposed to be rainy and gross, so there's also that. Hedges. Like, what is rattling? But it's actually my light. There we go. It's like very gently tinking against this. I think that's for the presser foot to like increase and decrease pressure. But I do find that the gooseneck on the lamp is not that tight, so it does tend to like drift down unless it's propped against something. Which really, with this machine, if that's the biggest complaint I have, I'm not too worried. Why did you sound sick? It's because the bobbin thread's not sewing. Did it sew here? Yeah, we're good there. Okay. Oh. What just pulled out? Okay, nope, it was unhappy for a lot of that. All right. Where does it stop? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, it's okay here. Interesting. Not something I haven't experienced before. Okay, so both of these need to be stitched still. Weird that it like didn't stitch halfway and then it picked it up like halfway through. Wild. All right. Yeah. All right. Last one to top stitch here. And we'll go in and we will wedge and do all the prep work. So if nothing else, the majority of the prep... Oh, no. No, we're not. We're going to go upstairs and snag those pieces that I scotch guarded. Yeah. Because, yeah, our ventilator is running, so it will allow it to, like, actually circulate the fumes out of the house tonight. All right, BRB. I'm gonna go grab those and come right back. All right, we're back. Everything is laid out so that it's ready to go, or hopefully drying better. Well, or dry. Okay, no. Well, at this point, the garage should not actually smell. But anyway, pulled the Obi out of the garage so that now, hopefully, it has a chance to air out overnight. Obi is in the house, so it has a chance to finish drying in a room temperature area. And we'll go from there. We're at the point of now is we're going to trim all of these apart. We just top stitched everything. And then we are going to go in and wedge and what do we need to do? We need to wedge and add their D-rings. And then we can go in and do stitch them together. All of these do already have their tops, their interiors ready, from what I remember. They should be ready. And we'll have to prep some leather for them. So after we've stitched them together, we'll figure out the leather that we need for these guys. Now there is a pile of ones that have already been clipped together and are basically ready to go, but you know, may as well add a few more, right? I might actually sew those next anyway, just so that they're like ready to be turned and finished. Finishing involves top stitching the bag upper and doing the finishing seam. Okay, maybe that's what we'll go and do next anyway, because then I can move this bin. There's a little bit less chaos because there's less like different stepped items, to be honest. Oh shoot, no. Oh yeah, because that's the other thing we need to do is we actually need to prep more labels. Okay, which means they need to be wiped down and interfaced. So let's do the smash together for the ones that we're like that are here and ready to go. Yeah. Okay, smash together first. I don't know why I didn't open up the bin really for the ones that need to be smashed together, because realistically they yeah, that would make too much sense, wouldn't it? Just too much logical things. Anyway, there are like 3 here that are already smashed together waiting to be turned and finished, which is why I'm like, no, let's actually get these done so we don't have quite so many in quite so many different like steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8 to sew here. There we go. We do need to swap back to the white thread. Hilariously enough, especially since we just swapped the black bobbin thread, but that's okay. The next black bobbin is wound, so we're good there at least. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Threading the machine. I wonder if we need to change our needle. No, it's got a few more hours in it, I think. Sorry, it's like dead silent, but this does require a lot of concentration. It's a really small eye to get through, guys. There we go. Okay. Realistically, when you actually look at a sewing needle, it is insane that it is the thing that does so much work for us. Like, really and truly. Okay. Why is there a bunch of loose thread in here? Is that loose thread that's like trim offs? Looks like it. Oh, it's the thread for the thread picks, Katie. Which should still be trimmed down, but whatever. Not as big a concern. Okay, I actually am going to swap the white bobbin thread while I'm here too, because the first bobbin we're going to use does not actually have that much. I'm gonna put the full bobbin there as storage for easy grabbing. Turn this so it pops in. Shoop-a-doop. Pull the bobbin thread up. Alright, and then we're gonna swap the black upper thread here. Yeah. Black to white spool. Alright, now we're going in and we're going to stitch the, I know, we're jumping all over the place here, but this is the next step for these guys, and basically once this is done, they have to be turned, top stitched, and have a finishing seam done, so we may as well get them actually done, or to that point. There are 3 from last week that I actually missed. They're all sitting on the chair, and then I was like, hell yeah, we're done. But 3 had fallen off the chair, and I'm like, well, we're not meant to be for ancient arts. We're instead meant to be, apparently, for peace. So yay, peace. Here you go. It was good ones. It's Wonderland Cats. It's Seigai Ha Koi. And because I was like setting up, and I was there on Saturday. Oh yeah, and the bouquet cats with the little black cats, little black bouquet cats. Anyway, I was setting up, and I was like, no, I was there on Saturday maybe or something like that. Yeah, because I finished a lot of these on Friday. I was like, oh, I swear I finished those. And lo and behold, they were at like the final step. So I was like, damn it. But I didn't find them till Sunday, so oh well. I think I ran out of bobbin thread. I did. Damn it. Right towards the end. Oh well. I felt like I had a clip under my foot. I did. Stay there. Feels like something that cats can knock off far too easily. And scatter a bunch of black D-rings all about the room, because of course that's just how it would go. Okay. Bobbin thread in and pop in and upper thread down with the needle. Then that pulls the bobbin thread out. Okay. Okay, now we did do a back stitch right here, so that's where I'm going to restart. And then we're going to line up with this start line here. Start on the seam. Done. Okay. getting through these pretty rapidly, which is why it's good to do this now. All right, 3 more to go, and then we'll start the work on the other ones again. This at least gets these guys to the point of like ready to turn, top stitch, finish. Like, you're backstitching a lot. Yes, I do typically try to stick a couple of back stitches in the like start and finishes of the drawstring channels, because that's where like a lot of the high stress point is going to be, and then also over the side seams. Oh, hasn't gone wrong for me yet, so may as well keep it up, right? Go. 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. This one might have already had dibs called on it, so I will find out after I finish it. So probably won't be with me at peace. It's the purple pom-pom one. Right, last one to smash together. This is actually an oldie but a goodie that I found the other day. It's red pandas on forest green. Super fun. Super old print. Ready to wrap up. Also help clear out the like whip pile that we've been shuffling around for a while. Like, which thread am I caught on? There we go. Okay, there's them done. Now, the next pressing matter is actually labels for everything. Oh no, and we're running low. Okay, so we need to have enough for the Kato that we are now prepping, and then we need enough for the Dundurn that are like rolling, which we cut 5 more today, and we have 4, so we need 9 there. Actually, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No, we can't use those because those are wax cat. Those are the wax canvas will not tolerate the iron, obviously. So, duh. All right, but we need 1, 2, 3. Well, let's just do 2. I don't know where the other half of that one is, but we may as well be pairing them up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm like, okay, so we can do 11. Something like what? 10 per, no, 20 per line. So we'll do 20 if we have it. Wait. I just said there's 11 and we, oh, okay. And we already have 9 here. So let's just do 2 more. Because that's far less to prep. Although we will clean up the next round as well. So we need, let's go clean up 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Because these all need to still be cleaned of the engraving dust. Ooh, there we go. Nope, we don't need to do more with the interfacing. We do need to do some more with the, we will need these guys anyway, but they only need to be cleaned up. They don't need to be interfaced. Okay, so 2, that's 5, 9, 12. Okay. Yeah, we'll still clean these up because then they're ready to go for the Dundurn totes. And we obviously can't interface them to the, or like, yeah, we can't iron the wax canvas because it's wax canvas. That would make the wax melt off of the canvas and completely defeat the point. So these get glued on, but the one thing that has to happen is I have to clean off the engraving dust. Oh, Dallas is upstairs and stuff's rattling around. I just remembered I need to make sure I feed the cat. Actually, I should go up and do that now before it wakes everyone in the house up. And give him his meds, actually. So let's clean this one. And then, actually, no, we'll clean all these up and then I'll go up and, yeah, feed the cat. And the other part of cleaning these up is I will also trim down the little bit of fray that's around the edges. Just so it's not quite so hairy necessarily when we go to put it on the bag. 2 more labels clean. And then go feed the cat. All right, I will be right back from feeding the kitty cat. All right, we're back at more prep work. I'm basically just trimming down the backs of the labels now so that we're not quite so hairy when I go to put them on, and then they don't like get little furry outlines when we actually glue them to the bag. I'm not trimming down the whole back, I'm just trimming down the very edges. I'm pretty sure there's probably a more efficient way or a better tool for this, but I just use my shears and basically just like kind of trim across and at the edge of the label. I don't know, it's hard to explain. You definitely are not going to be able to see the finer details of this. And since the camera is all like glitchy when I zoom in, we're not even going to attempt to do that tonight. All right, that one only has like 2 or 3 hairs right here. There we go. Oh God, don't throw the label out. That's not what I intended. I think that's all of them for that portion. And now we need to trim down the ones that are actually going to become the ones to be interfaced onto the Kato right away. That clean down was for the ones that are going to go on the Dundurn tote. Why I felt compelled to do it right now? Probably because it's like, that's what I'm hoping to work on tomorrow. That's what we'll go with. Okay. And I'm going to pop those into the cat bin right here. And now we're going to trim these down. I did do these with the X-Acto knife the other day. I'm still of 2 minds. I don't know if it was actually better or not. Was it faster? Yes, but I still had to go in with the scissors quite a bit to like trim down some of the details. Could be that my blade wasn't sharp enough again, or like the cutting surface wasn't right for it. I don't know. But back to the shears today because I don't feel like getting up and standing at the cutting table again. Laziness for the win. All right, there we go. Okay, so those do actually need to be put onto the bags now instead of after, which means we need the mini press and we need the little pressing mat for that as well. All right, we're just prepping the next round of Kato bags for Peace Fibre Festival. Oh, that one's interesting. And we are currently working on getting labels on. And then we're going to wedge and get the D-rings on. Like D-ring placement done. First, labels. Labels have to happen now. Labels, wedging, D-rings. All right, we only need half. Whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just realized I also need to design. Shit. Dallas is running the errands in the city tomorrow, and I'm just realizing it's like, okay, we need rivets. And I just also realized that I'm like doing up a new sign for the for this new like tent setup, and I just realized I probably should send him for some vinyl so we can actually cover the sign with what we want to say, which means I need to design said sign so I know what materials I need. Come on. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Also, I did intend to have more of this done last night. Actually, what I intended to have done was the Dundurn like Obi for the Dundurn last night. But my eldest actually woke up at like 11:15. I'm like, that's really early, even for you. And then came down like just distraught. I'm like, okay. So upstairs we went. Realistically, I probably would have only worked for about another 45 minutes or so, but it's like it would have still been 45 minutes. I could have had all the interfacing done by today. But here we are. I also ran out of Scotch Guard coating in the first round of the Obi today, so that's something I missed last night, but I wouldn't have been able to do the second coat. Well, I guess what I could have done is I would have gone to Canadian Tire and picked up the Scotch Guard I'm gonna drop the kids off at school today, but we had another absolutely like spectacular day today, and then it's supposed to get back to crappy weather this week, and I'm like, really? Can we just like, we don't need like plus 20 days in April, but like above zero and not raining would be nice, although we need the rain. We really, 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 really need the rain, so I don't know what I'm complaining about, to be honest. As for, oh my god, it's only 10 o'clock, and I'm like, nearly asleep already. I'm like, I was like, I'll work until like 11:30-ish. It has to be getting close, right? You know, we still got another hour and a half. Hey, Kat. How are you? Oh, really? I know. You had food tonight, hey? Yeah, was it good tasty food? Yeah. You come to shed on the products? Yeah. He's like right off screen there, sorry. Why? Yeah, that's quite a statement. What's up? Screechy scratches have gotten worse again, hey? Okay, I think we need to talk to the vet about going on to that medication like every 2 days. He's on like an every 72 hours right now, and it just is not as effective. But I don't know if it's okay for him to be on it every 48 hours, which seems to be the nice happy medium for keeping the kitty eczema under control. Also, wildly enough, I think the stuff that was from the compounding pharmacy actually worked better, so I'm gonna ask to go back on that next time we see the vet. Okay, bud, we gotta come off the thing. Thank you. I know, that's the pile that we're like actively working on, buddy. I'm sorry. Okay. Actually, I think the call it point tonight is if we get all of these, I think we can get all these exteriors wedged and done, like sewn and ready to be smashed, like ready to be clipped together for finishing tomorrow. I think that, yeah, that's where I want to be at by the end of tonight. So if that comes before 11:30, that's good. And then we will work on the Dundurn tomorrow. Once my brain is fresh. I'm also really considering doing some more like coasters and things like that. But I'm like, it just feels like a distraction from the bags right now. We will need more coasters for Otafest and a couple other ones like that. So we are down to a very thin on the ground selection right now of those. So. Like there's just a little bit of struggle with the interface in there being cinched. So I'm doing is I'm just finger pressing a center line into the bag here based on the upper fabric, and then we pop the label in here, eyeball that we're happy with where it's placed vertically, and then do a gentle flip. I know that I could do a template on this. I'm too lazy for that. Probably would be better, but yeah, whatever. Everything would be messed up by the flip anyway, so it's all good. I did go for my second run today, which was super exciting. I'm into a different program. I'm back to a more formal run walk interval program, which just suits me better than try to run at this pace for this length of time. And honestly, I'm quite pleased because it's like, came back to it and I'm in intervals faster with a lower heart rate than I was trying to just run flat out. So I think we'll stick with this for a bit. And the mental shift I'm trying to have right now, because I'm like still really sad about the marathon not working, but it's like because I have slowed down. It's just, we've done this before. We've rebuilt already, so we're going to rebuild in this changed pattern again as well. May as well. This is why I argued for having Irish twins, though, instead of like having the big gap between babies, because I was like, well, then I only have one long recovery period instead of two, and now I'm having a second, like, not recovery period, but like having to rebuild period. I'm like, damn it. Oh, each time you rebuild, you come back stronger, right? That's how that works. Oh God. Thank God it's laminate. No, that little tick of the mini press did nothing to the top of this. Now, we are not, I did select out like 8 or 9 more new fabrics, but I did not get them interfaced. So at this point, we're just going to say that those will be going into the rounds for Otafest. We're just super prepped for Otafest at this point, especially since there's about 15 here still to finish as well. A lot of them are already done. They're down below, just waiting to be basically turned and finished. So that's why I want to get these by tomorrow, I think. And yeah, we're not working on the Dundurn right now. Work on the Kato instead, because the Kato is something that is a lot more autopiloted. Not perfectly, but like there's a lot less mental energy having to go into figuring out what to do for the Kato, whereas the Dundurn are still a new enough pattern that it's like, and what do we do here? So I really do want to approach those when I am hopefully more clear-headed in the morning. We'll see if I am or not. Well, anyway, I'm excited. I got myself a new stand for some of the little things, which means that we can move one of the stands off the table, which is good because it was always kind of awkward. It also allows me to actually hang the scissors correctly, which is nice, because now we've got cat paw scissors and animal head, like animal top scissors, and they just look better on this rack versus the one that they were on previously. and higher capacity, so it'll take a lot more of the little items. Really considering going like how we could maybe put, I think we're gonna put the wristlets on it as well, and maybe like figure out how we can eventually put the needle stashers and such up there too. All right, that's done. I'm gonna move the mini press back to a spot where it can cool down safely. Cord out of the way as well, and the pressing mat over there. Good. All right, wedging. D-rings smashed together. Okay, my webbing box is at the ready. My phone has the D-ring colors. Actually, let's pull all the D-ring colors out and then, because why not? There's actually not that many colors left. Woo-hoo. The woohoo just being that it's just a little bit less work when there's less colors. I guess these are all pretty straightforward colors. Okay. No. Yes. Okay, cool. Here it is. I don't know why I'm worrying about pulling it out right now unless I'm clipping it in, given that it doesn't matter. I'm just going to forget what they're for. Oh, I realized. Okay, so the roosters are still in timeout because, and I forgot this, they were prepped with an old style of ring that will not accept it's just basically a flat ring, like a little oval ring, and it won't accept like there's just no way. Anyway, it won't, yeah, you wouldn't be able to connect to it. So I have to like go in and do a little bit of surgery, i.e. seam rip out the old D-ring. And the other part of that is that the D-ring is also, or the old thing to actually hold it in place is a full-on like canvas. And so I want to remove it anyway and replace it with the Polypro because the Polypro just sews in better, leaves less gaps and like is sturdier. So, yeah. All right, let's trim down these wedges. And then we can do the other things. Now normally, or the last time I did wedging and D-rings at the same time, I think we're just going to go in and trim the wedge, and then we'll go in and do all the D-rings. Does it sound inefficient? Yes. However, when you think about task switching, it takes you way longer to task switch. So we may as well do all of the wedging and then all of the D-rings, and it'll be fine. We're all good. After this, we need to figure out what leather colors are going with each of these as well, and then we can prep that. Actually, yeah. Okay, so that's what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that these are to the point of getting ready to smash together. Which just means that they won't be smashed together with their linings, but they'll be ready to go tomorrow. Then tomorrow morning we'll work on the Dundurn and getting the leather for these cut. And then we'll be able to do the smash together for the Kato and hopefully for the Dundurn as well. From what I remember, the Dundurn don't take that long to act. Like the most time is spent in the prep for the Dundurn as far as I remember. Even versus the Cambridge. Now, that might be a lie I am conveniently telling myself right now, but that is my like general recollection of the experience of sewing them before Knit City. And then if we randomly happen to stumble into some extra time, which, hey, maybe we will, or actually run out of these to do, we're going to do some small box bags because I have enough technically, but it's one of those situations where more is better. So that's what will be added on if we need to add anything on. And I need to plot out what we're actually going to do for Otafest because I have ideas, but I'm thinking that there's a couple new products that would be good to go. I do want to do some dice trays and stuff like that because they've been decently popular anyway, and I feel like Otafest has a good overlap of people that would want dice trays from Japanese fabrics. Which means that this is like about a third of the way through here with the fourth one. It's 11 bags. Ooh, this canvas is really far off the mark. All right. On like both pieces too. Like really far off the mark here. Holy crap. All right. Another. Okay, that's the case where the canvas is definitely too far over. So we're going to trim it down. All right, we're just finishing up the wedging of the Kato bag exteriors. This was the rest that was remaining after, like, that we didn't get finished before Ancient Arts Yarns, the Hanami pop-up. So we're going to wrap them up for Peace Fibre Festival instead. If you had joined me earlier this week, I had selected out, I don't know, 8 or 9 more. I don't think those are going to get finished. Things just ended up getting delayed over the last couple days. So, like, basically just took more time than anticipated. But we'll finish these up. And honestly, it'll also just be a swap for doing the Dundurn and getting, maybe, hopefully, be nice to get some like traveler slings done too, which we did get some cut yesterday. So I think we'd be able to do that pretty easily. That's what that polka dot lining was for. Was for like the traveler sling with the bamboo. Damn. Okay. Well, maybe some of them, maybe not all. I do not want to go back to the interfacing stage, that's for sure. It's like, that's where I'm calling it right now. It's like, we are not going back, we're just going forward. I do have to go back to the cutting table to trim up the Dundurn pieces and traveler slings if that's what we're doing. But I understood that was going to have to happen, so, like, it's not as big of, like, mentally as big a deal for me. Okay, I have my ruler. We got our D-rings. We've got our Polypro. Got my handy dandy phone to tell me what colors we're doing. So let's get to it for getting the D-ring tabs into the Kato. And then basically I was going to call it at 11:30. That's another hour, which is perfect. Or when the once these are all done. Part of that is also because I realized tonight that I am supposed to be doing a new sign for this tent, and I probably need some supplies for that so that we can, like, get it cut, because it's going to be a vinyl thing, and yeah. So, try and take a few minutes to, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a very large scale, so I'm a little bit like, and also I want to make sure I have the right colors of vinyl that would work for that project. So, all right, we're back into the where does this go situation. I did get the ones. So I actually took Kato yesterday during Sparks, and I did clip a lot of them while we were just waiting for the kiddo to come out, and those are now sewn. I did get those sewn tonight. So there's a pile of stuff that needs to have like the leather trimmed down so it's out of the seam allowance and turned. These we'll need to figure out what color leather they need, and that's part of what we'll do in the morning when I'm a bit fresher and not going to be completely like leather sweary. Okay, I think this might have been chocolate brown. Nope. Black? Really? Yeah, croissant cuts on aqua. All right. Black works. I guess brown doesn't really work, so that makes sense. And this is why I've started taking more notes. Otherwise, I'd be like, where does this go? What does this one do? And I'd take the brown, and it's supposed to be for something else, and then we wouldn't have enough of the right colors, and blah, 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 blah. Far less distress this way. Less cat problems, which is insane to think about. I do adore this fabric. It's like a play on that really sassy black cat fabric that we've had for years. I wonder if it's by the same company. Actually, I don't know. I haven't looked at the selvages. And I don't know if I have a piece of the selvage of the other option. I'll have to look. Okay, what are you? Okay, croissant cats on aqua is done. This is big yawn cats. This one makes sense for black. Anyway, yeah, especially this cat. So this is the sassy black cat that's on a lot of the other fabrics. So it's like now they got buddies. Oh yeah, good call on not doing Dundurn tonight. My brain just had 3D issues with the frickin' getting the tab on here. Oh my god. Okay. I've got all the wax canvas, so like I said, the only thing that's left now is we just need to do trim downs for, well, mostly for for the exteriors and then for the interiors as well. I was like, mostly for the exteriors, and then I realized, I'm like, no, wait. Basically, all the interiors need to be trimmed down. So, yay us. Guess what we get to do tomorrow? Less sewing than we'd want. Okay, that's how it goes. I'm actually pleased that we got any sewing done tonight in some ways. Hedgies. These are gonna be so cute with the hedgy fabric for the pockets. I'm excited. I had the kids helping me like bag up some of the little stuff the other day, and felt a little bit bad, and I was like, wait, nope. Fine motor skills, pattern seeking, counting, because it was like they need to have them in sets of 2, and then little matchy things. So I was like, wait, nope, don't feel guilty about that. That's exactly what they're doing at school. And I got help, and they had fun with me. So I was like, hell yeah, winning. Okay, I don't always trim down the tops, but when they're a little bit like off kilter like this, it's not a bad idea because then it's easier to see seam allowances when we go in to sew the drawstring channel in. I think this one might need a little bit more. No, we're good. It's all good. Okay, I'm pretty sure Snow White is brown, because all the illustrations of her are brown. That piece is too short. Oh no, does that throw off my Are we short a piece of chocolate brown now? We are. Damn. Wait, are both those? Oh, both those pieces are short. Okay, well, I think we might still be short a piece of brown. Okay, so do those pieces match? No. It also doesn't match with this then either, does it? Okay, so we got floral coffee paper white, or the light version. And then we've got coffee. And then we have, or is it just that some of them are longer? Could be that some of them just are longer, actually. Okay, so those all match really well. Those match better. And are within my tolerances. Okay, cool. I'm going to trim the, I'm going to make sure that they match. And I'll use my lighter to light them. But apparently my lighter has walked off. That's not good. Because I've been leaving it here because we've been lighting that coal and prairie candle. La 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 la. Well, we'll the floor right here. My thoughts too, Flynn. Go later upstairs. I will go say that, I guess. Actually, we're gonna take a look while there it is. Okay, it was just buried under whips. Surprising? No. All right. I had been using a short little ruler for like years to measure down, and I was starting to get bags where it was slightly off kilter, and then I was like, what am I doing? Why am I not measuring with the quilt ruler that will go across the whole thing? So here we are, doing exactly that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Looks like we only got 3 more bags to clip, which seems wrong, but maybe, I don't know. We'll find out here in a moment, I guess. Seems like there's more, or we had more to prep. I totally messed that up. Okay. This actually needs to come up a bit. There we go. How many are left? 1, 2. Oh, right, because we're to the ones now that it was like, I can do these with gold. Okay. 1, 2. Those will not be gold. This will be gold. The Fuji are gold. And the coffee is gold. Something else in there might have been gold as well. But we've got hedgies and we've got the 2 wallpaper cats. And actually, maybe with wallpaper cats, I was planning gold. Is that what it was? Let's see. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Okay, cool. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 4, 6, 8. There's a D-ring getting eaten by the drawer. Go 10. Actually, I'm going to do since we did get the black ones in, I'm going to do the darker wallpaper cats with black D-rings instead of gold D-rings. That's what we are going to do. Okay, floral paper is getting brown here. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. We're almost done. This step for now. This step for now. I'm shocked at how we have managed to get actually quite a bit sewn in the last 2 weeks. Everything? No, but that's fine. We don't need to get everything sewn. Okay, and then the wallpaper cats. Dark, I'm pretty sure it has black webbing. Yes. Take Snow White Pink out of there. Floral wall, cat wallpaper, dark. gonna shimmy here because needed it. There we go. And then black through here. And what did I decide? Black D-rings? Or go with gold D-rings. Actually, no, the gold looks better. IMO. If you don't disagree, I'm happy to do a custom order. Or if you don't disagree. If you don't agree, or if you disagree, hedgehogs, black and black for sure. Definitely dark brown with gold for the coffee. This is the last of some of the OG fabrics we've had, which is insane to me. Not maybe Etsy import, like buying through Etsy middlemen, but definitely from like within that first few trips to Japan, which is bonkers to me. Now, did it take us 10 years to work through some of this? Yes! Why, yes, it did. Thank you for asking. But also at the same time, it's like, whatever. We accidentally pandemic-proofed ourselves. We're good. Okay. Black with gold. And then the last one, which is the Fuji on the aqua, is going to be, oh, apparently I did an extra set of gold than I anticipated. So good. Anyway, the last of the Fuji will also be gold with navy, because it is all highlighted in gold, just like this black one here. I love how I'm not even set up and I'm like, hell yeah, let's put this D-ring in. I can totally eyeball where this is supposed to go. No, no, I cannot. End sarcasm. Oy. Navy, navy. Oh, that looks so good. Okay. So yes, at this point we're going to work until I have all of these sewn together so the exteriors are ready to be put together with their interiors. So whenever, if that comes first, before 11:30, awesome. If it's after 11:30, well, sucks to be me. Yeah, there we go. Do I need to clip this one or could I just shove it under the machine? But you know, if I don't clip it, I will be in trouble. Okay. We're at a construction length stitch length. Gonna pop it underneath and go. Before you ask, yes, of course we're chain piecing. Why wouldn't we be? And when I say also finished, by the way, that means that we are going to go in and do all the wedging as well. Like they will be ready to go with all their pieces, except for the fact that I need to cut leather. So we're going to also be working on getting these sorted into what leather colors we're going to use. Some of them are pretty obvious. It's like coffee is going to be the espresso color. Fuji's, both of them, they're going to be black. Like, that's easy, but just make sure that everything is ready to go for the morning. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. Five. just going through, which means this is over halfway now. Seven. Eight, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11, 12. So 8. Nine. Ten. No, we ran out of bobbin thread. Okay. Well, at least we caught that. And then what we can do is we'll clip the minor, pull the thread back. We had started the, we were able to do at least a little bit of backstitch down here, which is nice. Of course, it's on like the second to last bag. All right. Always how it goes, right? Okay, so one more seam on this out of 3. And then one more bag, and then the wedging, and then we're done for the night. Woohoo! I think we may not even be that late, which, given how I feel right now, is amazing. Definitely need the sleep. Oh no, I said that, and it feels like the second wind's cut, like, kicking in. Alrighty. All right. Now we clip them all apart, except for we do not clip apart the actual wedging because those threads that are chain piece between the wedge edges are actually really good guides for pulling them together to make the wedging. So leave those alone, and then once we wedge them, we'll also do our leather counts and stuff like that too. Well, we could do our leather counts now. It's really not a big deal either direction, actually. Okay, so navy, cats is black. I'm gonna go with brown for these guys, for the aqua cats. Okay, let's open up the note. Open up the note. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Open up the note. Okay. Black. Navy cats. Navy scarf cats. Brown. Crystal on aqua. Both hedgehogs are going to be black. Hedgehogs rose. Hedgehogs gold. Wallpaper cats dark is definitely gold or black. Snow White is brown, but the espresso brown. It's a nice, like, dark. Well, it looks like espresso. I think the wallpaper cats should also be that. Again, we are not cutting these tonight. We are simply sorting them, and then we will cut leather in the morning. Coffee. And then for brown, actually, and then black for the yawning cats, big yawn cats. Espresso for the Mount Fuji light. And then black for the dark Mount Fuji. Dark Mount Fuji. Done. Alrighty. Okay, so this will be brown area, and this will be black area. Now all we need to do is do the wedging on the bottom, and then I can go to bed. Wedges on the bottom, wedges on the bottom, and it can be my bedtime. Well, maybe a bit of work in Cricut to see what we can do there. Alright, so the threads here are connecting the two, like, wedge sides, right? And now we're going to pop this wedge corner, and it just helps guide it in perfectly instead of me, like, futzing around with it. So now we can just pop it under and sew. Again, we're going to chain piece all the wedges, because why not? I think this is an excellent use of my free will. And then these will be ready to be assembled tomorrow, basically. Again, we'll cut the leather in the morning, and then we will finish up the Dundurn prep. And then we'll do all the sewing we can. And if we miraculously have extra time after all of that, we are going to top stitch and finish some small box bags over the next couple days as well. We have there's like 27 in there. I think we can challenge ourselves to getting 27 done. What do we all think? I like how that was both the royal we of me, myself, and I saying yes, we can, and then being like, what do we think? Meaning everyone either watching or not watching on YouTube right now. Just to be confusing, you know. Make up your mind, Katie. I know. Here's the thing. I'm obviously... Oh, no, I definitely want to lay that way. All right, cool. We can accommodate that. Just let me get you nestled up there. Now we are going to be, as per usual, leaving all the drawstrings to pull while we're driving up to Dawson. Because why not? Yeah, that will be something that happens on the drive. What I am going to do this time is I am going to cut all the leather so I don't have to carry like the leather and the scissors and all of that. We'll have to carry the shears anyway. But then we don't have to carry the spools, at least, of the cord, the leather cord. And yeah, that's like, that helps a bit. And honestly, I did that the other day. Usually when I had to pull cord for all the drawstring that we finished like Friday night for Ancient Hearts Yarns. The hub pop up on Saturday. And but what I did is I pre-prepped everything so that it was just ready to pull through the bags, and that was so much nicer for myself. So that is something that I'll do before. And basically I cut the length, cut it in half, and then threw it in the bag that was getting finished with that cord. So that's what we'll do again before we head up to Dawson. Actually, based on how we're doing right now, that's probably something that we can do tomorrow, and then just take them upstairs to wait. Because there are some things, it's like, I feel like I have so much time, but like there's some things on Thursday that have to happen that I have to do, like packing the truck. Dallas will put the topper on, but I'm like, obviously, like being the business person, I know what's going for display, mostly. That would also be the good day to do the coroplast too, the signage, probably. So, realistically, planning that I have only tomorrow to sew is probably the better option. But again, delusional is the solutional. Right? Totally. So that's the premise we work under here. Okay. Now we're going to trim all these up, and then they will be done. And then we will sew the other wedge, and then we will be done sewing for the evening. Yay, we got all shit done, guys. How long have I been on? 3 hours. Okay. So yeah, we got Dundurn wax canvas done. We got these ones that were like almost done, like clipped together. Or like, well, no. We got all the ones that were clipped together, smashed together. Yay. And then we got these guys. Quite a bit of work done on these too, because it was like from top stitching through, basically. And labels. So I'm quite pleased actually with our progress tonight. Which means that I will be able to go to bed and actually sleep better too. I won't be like, oh my god, I gotta do this. I will work on the sign tonight for a little bit, just because I want to be able to, if we, like, I'm going to need supplies for that, so. How should I design that? Because I feel like we should do some like kitty cat paw prints or something, like wandering across it. Where is all this fluff coming from? I wonder if we're working with a new thread. I bet you it's coming off the thread. Means that I don't like that then. I blamed it on the sheets. I do think that the sheets were linty as well, but like this is continued, which means that it's something that we're working with actively right now, And that's not the sheets. So it tells me that's probably, I think it's like, the thread is a poly core wrapped in cotton, which we've worked with before. That's the bobbin thread and it's been fine. But I have a feeling that this one's shedding some more. Which is wild, but alright. Have that, I guess. Oh yeah, there were some pockets that we also had to go. I need to go in and stitch down some pockets. I was noticing, what was it? Yeah, like when I noticed it and then I like completely disregarded it. So that's good. That's sarcasm. Yeah, no, that's not good. Because now I'll have to go through all the pockets and make sure that they're all like put together. Oh, we also need to do drawstring basting for these guys. I wonder if that sounds like turkey. It is kind of the same idea, maybe. I don't know. Probably has like two different origin words that then just come together to mean sound the same. Homonyms, right? Homonym sounds the same but means different things. Basted turkey, which means put its like own juices back on it, and or versus a basting stitch. Okay, here we go. All exteriors that we are going to finish for Peace Fibre Festival have now been assembled. Next steps are to smash it together with its respective lining, leather, and drawstring. And then they will be ready to turn and finish, which we already have a stack of them here ready to turn and finish. So they'll be joining good company. And yeah, I'm excited to get these finished up. Now, the rest of the work I need to do tonight is actually on the laptop. So I'm going to say adieu, matinee, means see you later. Yeah, and I'll be back on tomorrow and we will work on getting these together. And as I mentioned, once my brain is fresh, the Dundurn as well, which I am super excited about. They're going to be absolutely gorgeous. So I'll chat with you all tomorrow. I will be on early and for a long time. So I hope you can join me whenever, wherever you can. And I'll see you soon. Bye.